While thinking about topics for this speech, I was thinking there's thousands of possibilities. With the tragic events of the past few weeks and few months in this country, I could speak about many of the heroes around the country that have inspired lots of help and kindness. I could speak about any of the teachers or professors that I had or family members that inspired me and helped me to become the person that I am today. But I thought it would be more fitting to speak about a group of people who have influenced and improved and changed my life over the last several years. I want to speak about the wonderful people at my church, New River Valley Community Church. Several years ago, I wasn't very big on organized religion in church at all. I mistakenly believed that church goers were a bunch of hypocritical people that listened to the pastors on Sundays and then would go out and act however they want during the week. This is not true of the people at New River Valley Community Church. I began going to church every now and again several years ago. I would go just every Sunday from time to time, and on Easter on special events. And my family would always have to introduce me because church members didn't usually recognize me from the infrequency of our visits. And then one spring I noticed a bulletin on my dad's table for the church that said they were starting a softball team. So I said I was interested in playing softball, and I asked my dad if he could ask the guy that was in charge of the softball team to see if I was able to play. The guy that was in charge of the softball team said he was more than happy to have me on the team. This made me feel really good. For the first few games and practices, I was very nervous and felt out of place because I didn't know very many people. But as the season went on, the team began to feel like family. The season ended, and we still didn't attend church very regularly. I was still unsure about organized religion as a whole. But the next softball season came again, and I played and started growing closer and closer to the people on the team, and I found myself attending church more regularly even after that. And then in 2011, my wife was pregnant with our second child. She called me from work one Monday in the middle of May, telling me that she was having contractions and thought something was wrong. She called the doctor. The doctor told her to go to the hospital just to see how things were going, have things checked out. So I rushed from work to the hospital, and the nurses were doing tests and everything and giving her medicine to get the contractions under control because she was still 3 months early. As the afternoon progressed, it seemed like the contractions were getting under control and everything was going to be okay. So my wife felt comfortable enough for me to go to the softball game and play that night. I left and went and played, and near the end of the game, I got a call from my wife that said that the contractions had actually gotten stronger and they were having more trouble controlling them, and that they were going to keep her overnight, and if they couldn't control the contractions, we were going to have to go to Roanoke Memorial to the neonatal intensive care unit to maybe face the premature birth of our child. I was very shaken and very afraid at the time. After all the games, the team always said a prayer, and at the prayer I asked the team to say a prayer for me, and they did, and it made me feel really very good. And one team member especially, Jay Mathis, his wife works at the neonatal intensive care unit in Roanoke Memorial. He called his wife and told her to be expecting us and to make sure that we got the best care and to take care of us if we were to show up there. And it just amazed me the amount of care and concern that we received from people that I didn't really even know that well at the time. But it all worked out okay. My wife ended up spending a couple of days in the hospital. They did get the contractions under control and labor stopped. We went home. That Sunday we came to church, and Angela Alderman, Jay Mathis' wife, came up to us in church. I had never met her before. She came up to me and gave me her phone number and said if we needed anything, any time of day or night, to give her a call with any questions or concerns, and she'd be there for us. Once again, the level of concern and offer of help just simply blew me away. And that's when I realized and knew that New River Valley Community Church was a very special place. But the help didn't stop there. Since then, we've had a few difficult years. In December 2011, I had gallbladder removal surgery, and the members of the church were there to help with meals, so my wife didn't have so much trouble taking care of our 2 young children by herself while I was incapacitated because of the surgery. Then in February 2012, just a few months later, our daughter got RSV. We were in the hospital late one Sunday night, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and the pastor of our church, Mike Noisy, and a softball team member of ours, Lee Stinger, came to see us in the hospital, which completely blew me away that they took time out of their busy schedules to come say a prayer with us and express their concern. And then in March 2012, I had an emergency appendectomy, and the church was once again there for us, and it was just amazing. And then finally in May 2012, my wife's father passed away, and the situation wasn't great, and we were having trouble finding a place to have any kind of service, and the church on short notice allowed us to have the service here in the church building, and it just made things a lot easier. More recently, my wife has been going through some emotional issues, and her friends and everyone from the church have been very helpful for her and been helpful for us as a family and been there for us. And I've never felt like anyone in the church has ever judged us for anything we've ever said or done. Even on Sundays when we wake up and we don't feel like coming to church just because we don't feel like it, no one says anything about it. And no one says anything because right now we can't give financially to the church. I'm not made to feel guilty about that, and I think that's wonderful. I've never experienced this at any other church that I've been to, and I just wanted to really commemorate every single member of New River Valley Community Church and let them know how much they all mean what the church means to us. New River Valley Community Church is a wonderful and accepting place. Everyone who goes here is amazing, helpful, and caring. The environment is easygoing and non-judgmental. And last but not least, Don Edmonds, who's a member of our church, has been so helpful in helping me getting my last 2 speeches recorded, and so I could get them in and turned in and get good grades. Thank you all.
Okay, that made me cry.
And now you have to give that speech on Sunday. We're going to put you up here on Sunday and make you give that speech to the whole church.
Oh, yeah, that would work.
I don't think he's
But you were swaying
No, he
still.
could not do that.
That's all right, man. Look, don't worry about it.